secrets and gossip. So sit back, lay down, do whatever you have to do. Close your eyes, but keep your ears peeled for some juicy gossip, some inaudible whispers, and some tingles that are going to be scattered throughout. So, the events start with me going into work on one very chilly morning, and I see that someone is actually waiting on the outside of the thing. Now there's me thinking that it's going to be someone that I know, because someone they actually work between. When I'm there, I actually work with quite a few different people, but usually on the weekend there's only a team of 3 or 4 people, because we go to an out-of-hours service. So I go there and there's that person just waiting there for me as if something's going to happen, and usually we're not supposed to let anybody in, but sometimes we can stop it there, and I'm just looking, and I'm minding my own business, and I don't acknowledge this person because I don't know who they are, number 1, and number 2, I'm just focused, keeping to myself, because I'm not on the clock yet. I'm the type of person that gets to a place early, and luckily my family does drop me off sometimes, and I'm grateful for that, so they drop me off there, and so I'm there early, and I'm ready to do my job and be efficient and be on time, although I don't claim any extra money. I really should for doing that because it runs efficiently, and so I just walk past the person and just go and do my thing, because I just need to open up, and that just includes sorting the files, sorting the patient things on the laptop and the computer, organizing everything and understanding that it's not going to be something that's going to do. I just feel like sometimes it's not like that. I just want to be something that is just going to do that. And so they just that's it, and I'm just opening the door, and as I'm putting the key in to unlock, bear in mind this is the back entrance of where I'm supposed to be working. I feel a tap like a tap, and I just shiver a bit like that, because I just know that Karen or Chris or whatever their name is, this is not their actual name, that's what they mentally have named them. They just got something to say, even though I don't know them, have nothing to do with them, and I'm focusing on opening this door so I can get inside. Bear in mind this is quite a restricted area, only I have access to this at this time because I opened the place up on this specific day. And so they're like, excuse me, how dare you walk past me without giving me the attention? I did have to go. I'm just going and I need to do my job. I need to walk past them, and how dare you just ignore me, walk straight past me? And I'm just like, oh, good morning, number 1, and number 2, I'm sorry, I don't know who you are, so that's why I didn't acknowledge you. Who are you again? And I didn't say in a rude way. I was just like, oh, who are you? I'm blah blah blah. I introduced myself, even though they're the one that tapped me. They tapped me, and so they were like, well, now I don't feel like introducing myself because you didn't show me the responsibility. You weren't nice to me at all. Like, what type of person is the front of us when they're not going to be doing things like that, and they're not going to be nice? And I'm just like, this person is already getting on my nerves, and it's too early in the morning to be arguing with someone. So I asked them, are you one of the doctors? Are you part of the team today? And are you coming in? I just literally said it like that, because my face, like, I'm very nice and I'm very, like, smiley usually, but as soon as someone's rude or gets on my nerves, my face just drops, and I'm just like this, and I go, oh, okay, are you one of the doctors? Are you gonna come in? Or are you one of the nurses? What do you need something? That's how I speak, and it's not me being rude, but it's me just like dealing with it. You get the nice version, and then if you're rude to me, you don't get the nice version anymore. And so after that, she's like, she pushes past me and then walks straight in, and then she was like, oh, I need the keys to open the door, and I'm like, I'm not giving you the keys. I don't know you are, so I'm definitely not going to give you the keys. I'm going to walk through and I'm going to do things without you. I'm going to open it. I need to know your name, please, first. And reason, because I apparently brushed her off and ignored her, even though I've never met her before in my life. Turns out she was part of the team that day. She's only working one shift ever. I've never seen her before, and nobody's very fond of her now that I know who she is, and it rings a bell. And so my other colleague walks in on time. Everyone's on time. We're actually early. She comes in 10 minutes early because the clinic starts at 8:15. We're supposed to be there for 8 to open up. I get there for 7:45, so I can open up my colleagues there at 7:55-ish before that even. And so she says hello, and then she goes to the front. She doesn't introduce herself to this person either, and this person is so mad. She goes, oh my goodness, sorry I brushed you a little bit there. She goes, oh my goodness, do people not have any manners these days? Do people not have manners these days? How come nobody wants to talk to me? No one's going to introduce themselves, no one's going to do their thing. And I was like, why is this woman so self-righteous already? It's freaking not even 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm running on 3 hours sleep, and she's just yapping. And I'm just like, okay, look, we're not gonna get anywhere with this. Let's get you to your room. This room number 5. So we're just gonna get you to sit in. I'm just like, yeah, whatever. And so we're all talking at the front because she keeps talking and saying how she's so disappointed in us for not having a high standard of service. And then another colleague comes in, the nurse comes in, and we've worked with the nurse multiple times. She's actually quite nice to us, looks after us, we look after her as well. And she comes in, she goes, what's all the commotion about? And so the doctor, thinking that she's going to be on her side, obviously because she's superior, she goes, I can't believe these rude children. She said, these rude children. I'm not a child. I mean, look at me. Do I look like a child? If I look like a child, then there's something wrong up there, and she needs to be mentally assessed or psychiatrically assessed. She goes, look at these children. They're acting like they own the place, like what their parents wanted, their things and all that. And I just like, things like, oh my goodness, they shouldn't be here. They shouldn't be working. The caliber of people is really reduced today. I'm not going to be able to deal with patients. I'm going to have to be dealing with the staff and have to deal with this. And then the nurse turns around and she goes, hold up. Number one, they are working adults. They are not children. Number two, you are being very rude for no reason. Let's go to our rooms and get ready for our patients again. And she's not happy with the room. She's like, I want a different room. Nothing is right. Nothing is working according to how it's going to be. And I'm just like, what the hell? Like, what's going on? I can't be bothered. I'm not going to be doing these things. This is the bit in the place. So I'm just like, look, I'm sorry that you're unhappy with the room, but I don't own this place. I can't change anything. I can bring you stuff from other rooms, but I can't change the rooms because the way this place is laid out, there's different rooms, and we're just hiring the space, so we hire 2 rooms out of 9 rooms. We're not allowed to actually use the other rooms. Of course, in emergencies, we have a key for another room, in case things don't work. Everything was working in her room, she just didn't like it. And so I was like, look, I can't take it to the room, it's against the policy. We're not allowed to, it's against policy. Like, if you need to move the rooms, you can place them in the group chat, you can talk about it, you can email them. And so that's the thing, and you have to put up with it because everything's working in the room. So she was saying that something wasn't working in the room, and so I changed what that was. It was one of the ophthalmoscopes to look into the eye. The one on the wall, she said it wasn't working. I checked it, it was working. And I said, oh, it looks like it's working. And she goes, what do you know? And I was like, little do you know. But I just left it. I was like, whatever, I'll get you a different one. Got her a different one. She should really have her own if she's going to be moaning about the equipment in another place. You should really have your own, especially with these specific clinicians. These doctors and nurses are used to like going to different places. They're not fixed in one place, not fixed on a shift pattern. It's called locum. Like an agency, they come and they do one shift or they book in different places. So really you should have your own set of equipment if you're doing that, and it's kind of everyone usually does. So if you're going to complain about things, you should really be thinking about bringing your own stuff. Just my opinion. And so she still wasn't happy, even though I'm trying to accommodate and give you all these different things to do. But I'm really trying my best, and I just don't know where to go from there. So I kept going, and I was like, look, I'm just going to let you be. I've given you all the equipment you need to do. If you have anything else, you can email management or call them or talk to them, because I really can't help you anymore, and I'm trying my best. And so I was just like, look, to reiterate the point, I'm trying my best. I've changed everything I can. I'm just going to leave now and go back to the front because the patients are coming in. If you have any problems, just email And she was like, and she didn't answer, she didn't reply, she just looked at her screen and was just like, I'm ready now. And I was like, whatever. So I go to the front, sit down, I'm really nice, the patients are coming in and in and in and out, in and in and out. And then after 2 patients, she comes out of her room and she comes up to me and my colleague and she goes, why is everyone coming in all together? And I was like, they're not, they're literally, you're seeing 2 people within, it's 1 person every 15 minutes, it's quite fast pace. And she goes, well, it's too quick for me, I need more time. And I was like, what do you want us to do? I literally said, what would you like us to do? And she goes, I need more time. And I was like, I can't give you more time, it's your job, you know the conditions, I didn't make the job. And then she turns and she goes, what do you know? You don't know anything. You guys are just sitting at the front doing nothing. And I feel like you don't know how to even do that. We have to do so much work as clinicians and you don't have anything. There's no respect. And I was like, and so I was like, okay, look, I'll call one of management and tell them that you need more time. And then she turns around and says, well, if you call management and tell them that, then it's gonna look like I don't know how to do my job. And it's like, oh my god, I just can't be bothered anymore. So it's like, look, if you have any more problems that I'm gonna move forward, I can't do that. You're asking me to do things that I'm not allowed to do. So essentially what she wanted longer slots for each patient so she would see less people, but essentially work the same amount of time, which isn't allowed. It's not something a guy can approve, it's not something anyone can approve. Preset, you agreed to that. So she was like, change it. And I was like, no. And she goes, why not? And I was like, I can't, it's not, I don't have the authority to change it. She goes, well, you better. And I was like, is that a threat? And she goes, yeah, it might be. And I was like, look, I'm not dealing with it, I'm gonna call management. So I went and I called management and they were just like, what's going on? I was like, yeah, it's really early on, I can't be bothered with this person, they're just asking for more time, they're asking for longer appointments. She goes, well, that's the nature of the job, if they can't handle it, then they can go work somewhere else. And I was just like, well, I don't know what to do. And so management was pretty much siding with me, saying, look, just go back and tell her that she has to do what it is. They're not going to give her any time to catch up because essentially she wasn't even behind. She just wanted to do less work. But yeah, and in a very fast-paced job, and she was just like, and she wasn't happy with the management's response because I called them when they were on loudspeaker, so she heard it all. And so she just wasn't happy for the rest of the day. She was in such a bad mood, and so the clinic ran behind. And then because the clinic ran behind, she was just like, oh my god, I need time, I'm just gonna do that. So basically she ruined the quality of the care that was being provided because she was just being spiteful, because she just wanted to show that she needed more time, and really she just made it bad for herself. And so basically everything happened and going forward, she was just like, I can't do this anymore, I need more time, I just can't be bothered anymore. Just want to go forward and do this and just become something that it's not going to do. And it doesn't matter anymore, I just want to be something that's not going to happen, and just like always doing things that shouldn't be done. But anyway, that's beside the point, we're just going to continue with the things that we want to do and we're just going to go forward. And so the day goes by with her being slow and doing like not wanting to work, and then it's lunchtime, it's like 2 p.m. because they have a late lunch, and she moved her break from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock. That's fine, nothing to do with us, as long as it doesn't affect us, I don't really care. She didn't ask us, she just did it herself. And so we were like, okay, we're gonna order some food in, because I didn't bring any lunch, no one brought any lunch. And the nurse was like, the other nurse that was there, the other clinician was like, yeah, my treat, let's get some fast food, I want something nice, let's just get some food. So we ordered the food, and I screen messaged her, we're getting some, me being stupid, I was like, we're gonna get some food, would you like anything? She goes, no. She just, no, full stop. And I was like, okay, I did my bit, I asked. And so our food comes, and we're eating it in the lunch break, and we're chatting, and none of our patients are there, but some of hers are, because she chose to move her break. She comes out, and she's like, how can I work when you guys are having your lunch, and you guys are bringing the food, and you guys are bringing temptation? How am I supposed to work when I'm doing things like this? How am I supposed to work when the environment is not allowing me to? How dare you guys have lunch without me? I thought we were a team, I thought we were going to do that. And I was like, look, you moved your lunch break to an evening break to a dinner break, what am I supposed to do? I can't change it for you, and you keep complaining, so I'm really fed up now. This is a break time, I'm not working. because this person is just not very nice and not good to work with. And so we all made a written complaint because it's very difficult to work with them, and we just get a call. And then we get a call from the hospital saying that, ring ring, one of our patients that you saw recently is not very well, and they were assessed and it's not very good. And we was like, oh no, whose patient was it? You know whose patient it was. And so they were like, oh my god, they're not very well, we're gonna have to deal with it, but they're like, they should be properly. And I'm just like, it's nothing to do with me, you need to call. So I transferred them through. And then she came out of her room like, why the hell would you transfer them to me? There's nothing to do with me. And I'm like, yeah, but your patient, you've seen them, is continuity of care. She goes, what would you know? What would you know about continuity of care? Admin assistant. I was like, no, I'm a med student too, that's why I know. And then she was like, oh, okay, so you think you know it because you're a med student, I'm a med student too. And I was like, okay, that doesn't make any difference. Really doesn't make any difference, so please stop complaining, go back into the room. 5 p.m. It's slowing down, it's getting in the evening. So now the nurse is finishing up, and because it's just the last people could just come trickling in, it's not like anything major, because it's in the evening, no one wants appointments in the evening, on a weekend that is. And then so she comes out for her break. It's like, why is it so quiet? And we were just like, there's not that many patients. She's always the person initiating conversation, by the way, apart from when I asked them if they wanted something for lunch. Always initiating conversation. And so the nurse comes out and has a seat next to us because there's no one there, and she goes, oh, you don't get 2 lunch breaks. And she was like, I'm waiting for my patient at the front, is there an issue? And then she goes upstairs, and so then she goes up and goes, there's no food here, what am I supposed to eat? And I'm like, there's no food. She literally said, there's no food here, what am I supposed to eat? And I just looked at her, because we're in London, but the place we are is very residential. There's not like, it's still busy London, like you can go to places, but it's like 15-minute walk, and she doesn't want to walk 15 minutes. So I was like, look, go get some snacks here and there, whatever. And she goes, no, I don't want to go, I don't have time to do this, there should be food here, there should be like stock in the cupboard. I was just like, oh my god, the entitledness is going to kill me one day. And so I was just like, look, I'm not going to give you any food. She's like, do you have any food? I was like, no, we don't have any food, what am I supposed to do with that? I literally can't be bothered anymore, it's just too much. She's like, I want to go home, this is like a shitty day, I just can't be bothered, I just don't want to do this anymore. And I was just like, do you know what? I'm not dealing with you anymore. You should have brought your own food. Why are you throwing a temper tantrum as an adult? I went back downstairs. She saw her last patient. I closed up, and she left. She didn't even say goodbye, she just left. I quickly, before we left, I typed up a nice email about what happened during the day just to cover my back, because I know that it will come back to bite me if I didn't. So if I went in there, if I explained first what happened, because I don't know what story she could fabricate. And this isn't the case for everyone, but unfortunately we live in a society where, as a man, or as someone who identifies as a man or is male, or identifies as male, whatever, as a male, there is a malicious intent that some women use to curry their favour. And unfortunately, as a society, we are more inclined to believe a particular side, sometimes, not all the time, in some cases, without looking at the evidence. So I wanted to provide evidence, just so if anything happens. So I did that, I typed up everything. I was like, yeah, so today, basically, what happened was that this happened, and she was like, this happened, and she used this terms, and she's gonna claim that this happened, and everything like that, and then I'm gonna have to do things, and then it's gonna type it up. She was complaining about this, she was complaining about the food, she was complaining that the patients seemed too long, and she was very angry towards the staff members, and very hostile towards the staff. And so I submitted that as evidence. Lo and behold, the next day I get an email saying that there was a complaint against me, my colleague, and the nurse about certain things. And because I sent the email first on the same day, which my manager already saw, they were like, no, it's okay, we can disprove it because he sent this email saying this. And they were like, we can even check the security footage if necessary. But we doubt that anything like that happened. And she lied. There was a lot of lies that she wrote. in her email, which wasn't like, for someone who's very well educated, you would expect them to have a good like standard of written English. No, I couldn't make sense of some of her points. She was saying that we threatened her. She said that we were physically aggressive towards her, so we slammed things and did that, just like that. We apparently made sure that her working environment was loud and noisy, and apparently we were hostile towards patients, so our patients weren't happy, and then she felt rushed and she didn't have time. And I was just like, you know what, that just makes no sense. So luckily nothing happened and that didn't go any further, but it just goes to show how some people can make drama out of nothing. Like, it could have been a really nice day where we could have gotten along, we could have chosen to be kind, chosen to move forward, but instead we chose hostility. Not me, initially. They chose hostility and they went with it because of this false sense of entitlement that, you know, people who get everything they want. I'm just like, no, not today, not today. I don't get paid enough to give you what you want at this moment in time. And so yeah, that's what happened. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. I hope it's not too long, and you enjoyed some of the inaudible whispers that came with the secrets. So I'm sorry if there's any background noises. I don't know, I think it's World War like 17 going on downstairs, and I shall see you in another video where hopefully it's more quiet and calm. Thank you, and subscribe if you haven't. Okay, we need some more subs.